afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Dan Anson saying very, very welcome to this week's webinar. Now, we have a kind of a short one today. We're just going to go through some points, and it's kind of part of where we are now. We have so much stuff going on the corporate side. That it's almost overwhelming. If you consider that we have migrated successfully onto the Leo Coin 3 platform of Ethereum, that's all working well. We've got listed on different exchanges. We've kind of done all of that technical stuff. We have some groundbreaking stuff there to do with our staking program, as I'm sure that some of you, if not all of you, are aware. So all of that is good. We're working on different projects and consolidations of things from the past, and that's kind of all good. We're also dealing with some corporate restructuring. So to say that we're busy is an understatement of the year, really. But at the same time, all is kind of good. For those of you who know me since 2012, you know that we're here to do something remarkable, and I think that we're getting closer and closer to that. We have kind of this vision on Leo and Leo Coin for servicing our community, and of course we want everything to work well there. And what we want to do is build a community that goes into millions. For those of you who don't know me that well, you know that I was in a social community kind of network where we built over 10 million people. I was also a vice president in a Chinese company called Tianxi Tians that had 20 million distributors when I was there. So I kind of know about the big numbers in direct selling. And of course, that's where I want to get to. And I'm very, very pleased to share with you cryptically, because I can't go into the details really, to share with you cryptically that I kind of have the solution now, and I have the next project. But at the same time, we're working on the ownership areas, and we're working on the different product that we started. And not a single thing have we failed at yet, but they haven't all delivered as speedily as we wanted. But it is what it is. But we're still here, and we're still fighting away, and all of that is good. But I have almost downloaded from above the next plan, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but I've sort of tested it out on a small handful of people, and they get it, and they see how that will work. And it's taking social community dynamics for how to build our network into our core stuff, which is training, with the obvious outcome of that being to build a Leo Coin community of millions upon millions upon millions of people. So if you can visualize a future where you have 1 million people on your left and 1 million people on your right, that will be the game plan that I have. So all is good, but there's also stuff going on, and being in business, we kind of are paid for dealing with problems, and it is what it is. But in terms of the agenda here today, there's a very cool member event I want to talk to you about a little bit. We have some housekeeping stuff around different things, and that's kind of it. The member event is in India. Now, you know that we have some Chinese friends, and we have some very, very new and fresh people in Africa that we love. We have Europeans, and we have North Americans, and we have kind of people all over the show. But India is an important market. Now, it's never simple to build a network. People are skeptical, people say no, people think that we're this and that, the other, and it's never easy. And sometimes the high level of regulation that we have in some countries, other countries are more confused. And India certainly has had more of its fair share of issues for the direct selling industry to deal with. But so if you think it's tough to build in your market, let me tell you that John Abraham and his team, they're dealing with issues that would make your hair stand on end, I'm sure. But it's fantastic to see the energy and the potential inherent in these little updates that John shares with us for what's happening in India, because India is such a large country. It's such an emerging economy. It's a place where they're interested in IT and modernity, and they're really interested in crypto but it's kind of difficult, and they're interested in education. So when we finally turn the corner on India, it will be the shining star in Leo's crown, if you like. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that, because that is the game now, that we want to build the spark that we have in Africa. We want to build the spark that we have in Brazil. We want to build the spark that we have in all the markets, but especially in the remainder of 2019, I think that we're going to see that in 3 or 4 different places. And with a bit of luck, that'll be India as well. So fantastic efforts there, and thank you very, very much, John, for your hard work. Now, the first bit of housekeeping is before the 15th of May, 2 days from now, that's Wednesday, you have to redeem your tickets for the Momentum Tour. So if you have a banner showing your back office, make sure you act on this and get it done now. And if you've done it, make sure that your people do it. For some reason, salespeople and direct salespeople in particular are very, very much lastminute.com. The spaces are limited, so when they're gone, and it is what it is. And cry me a river if you don't do your part, which is clicking on a banner. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because the Momentum Tour is important, because some of the things that I'm alluding to here, when we're face to face, that's when you're actually going to get the lowdown on what we're doing, and it will be business changing, potentially life changing as well. But having said that, we also in business have to deal with challenges. Dealing with issues is what we do. Now, before we get there, the next big event that we have is in South Africa, and we have various estimations of numbers. We've been very confident about 6,000 people, and then we had people telling us about 9,000 people. However many thousand people it is, it will be the largest event that Leo has ever done, and that is just a remarkable, remarkable story. Now, the tickets sales for this event stop at midnight on the 17th of May. So that is Friday, this coming Friday. That's it. So for those of you who are from that market or intending to attend that event, this is your last call on that, because after the 17th, that's when we have the final numbers, and that's what we'll make arrangements based upon. Now, that will be a landmark event in our history, and I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing what we can do. Now, we're dealing with all these exciting things and all this stuff that I kind of know about, and sometimes you don't know about. But every now and then, I'm reminded that we're always dealing with issues. In a people business like what we are, usually people are the issue, and it's kind of, you have to deal with drama, you have to deal with politics, you have to deal with people who have vested interest, you have to deal with people. If you're in direct selling and you don't love people, you have made an odd career choice. So I'm very philosophical about that. Sort of when people come to me with drama, I kind of just deal with it, and it's kind of just a part of the day job, if you like, that you just have to deal with drama all the time. But occasionally you have to deal with technical issues, and occasionally you get into a situation where you have problems to deal with that are beyond your control. Now, I have been in the telecoms industry, I have been in the building industry, I have been in the IT industry, in different connections of what I've done. Every single one of those industries has to deal with technical drama all the time. And sometimes you have a corporate machine that stumbles and falls over for no particular reason. But what you then get to is this English expression, which is egg on your face. And we have a bit of egg on our face today. I don't know, if, for those of you who are not native English speakers, to have egg on your face means that you're kind of embarrassed about a mistake that you've made or that the machine has made. And in this instance, I'm really embarrassed because we have a terrible situation where we've had some issues with the few people that actually use the withdrawal request for Bitcoin, and it's technical. I'm not going to go into it. It's not worth your while listening to someone who's not technical trying to explain the technical issue. But the long and short of it is, if you made a cash withdrawal request, you've got all your money, and in every market where you can process it that way, then there's no fundamental issue. But for the Bitcoin withdrawal requests, literally an hour ago, we had to reverse all of those that were made because we had an insurmountable technical problem. And it is what it is. Now listen, the sky is not falling, and there's no fundamental issue. Since 2012, our core mission has always been to be an honest partner with you. So I kind of like to be able to tell you that we fucked up, or excuse my language, we messed up, and we're putting it right. So the teams are working on that, but we have had no choice but to roll back and reset the clock there, because we couldn't find any other way to do it. So it is what it is. I'm mortally embarrassed about it, but resubmit your withdrawal request if you are dead committed to getting it in Bitcoin. Fine, we will sort that out for you as soon as it's humanly possible. In the meanwhile, we kind of, as you know, we're sort of very excited about South Africa, and we're going there in sort of 2 weeks' time. So we had this idea to do something for South Africa and Africa in general, just to sort of go into the event. Because if you remember, the date for the South Africa event was I'm just looking it up now, the 25th. So what we want to do, and what we want to present to you here and now, launching, is a incentive that runs out on the 24th of May, the day before the South Africa event. And the seed for this was that what can we give as a thanks to the South Africans that have done so well and built the business, and they're kind of remote, and they're sort of in the same time zone as the UK, but they're nowhere close to the UK. So we work with the leaders, and we have a good connection to them, but we wanted to kind of give them something extra. Now, what we're doing between the 13th of May and the 24th of May, and this is actually live right now for anyone who's a platinum up to executive. If you're a platinum associate, senior associate, coordinator, or executive, we're giving you double RP. Now, for those of you who are new, you might not understand fully the power of this, but for those of you who've been with us, every now and then we've done a spot promotion like this, where we've given a market double RP. And this is kind of to help, to support, to give you a deadline to work towards, to give you an uplift, if you like, where we kind of say thank you from our side. We're going to give you something that you work towards this deadline here, and then you can achieve twice as much as if compared to the normal plan, if you like. And the power of this is enormous. This is what we've done in 4 or 5 markets that are our biggest markets today. We had these spot promotions for double RP, and it was amazing what will happen. Because basically, once you're a platinum, you need to do so many points to go associate, and this is all measured on rank points. When you get double rank points for your product sales, you then get there twice as fast. And it means that you pop up through the associate rank, you pop up through the senior associate rank, and you're doing it on product sales. Nothing happens without a product sale. But if you have those product sales, it's very, very strong. And because this is short and sharp, there is no time to deliberate. There's no time to think about it. If you're new and don't understand this, think it through, because the rank positions in direct selling drive everything. At the end of the day, we're all here to make money, and we're all here to provide for our families, etc. But at the end of the day, the recognition and the rank achievements are everything. And so if you are already a director, no, cry me a river, but you're not going to get double rank points, because you're already in a position to benefit from this, because your organization, if you drive it correctly, will go absolutely nuts. Now, if you also have the bonus of having your withdrawal request returned to your account, I'm teaching you how to suck eggs, but you can obviously purchase products for that and move very, very quickly with that. So Until the 24th of May, you have a chance to drive your teams to yourself, get to the next position for half the effort. And of course, what that means in terms of associate rank and some of the other incentives that we're going on, we are taking a little bit of a gamble on this, but we think it'll be okay. But you could do some damage, and all power to you as well, because this is what's on the table when you're working with a company like Leo. We try to look after you first. So if you have a brand new person starting out and you're not yet at the platinum rank, get to the platinum rank, get that person to the platinum rank, and then help him go up the rank structure with all the rewards that come with that. Now, this is not something that we can run any longer, so this will not be extended. 24th of May is the end date. Now, like I said at the beginning of this was something that we wanted to do specifically for South Africa, maybe the neighboring countries. But we've decided, as a gesture of, how shall I say, goodwill, as a gesture of egg on face, we've decided to open this up for the global business. So this is the time, this is the place, do with it what you will. But if you were waiting for a reason to get going one more time, if you were waiting for a reason to get something forward, this is the time to drive your teams to do heroic and extraordinary things. And the old people in the room, the old people that have been with us for a while, you know the power of this. So you might feel that it's industrial espionage land, and I'm not going to tell them how powerful this is. No, tell them how powerful it is. This is how you move your business to the next level. So that's really what we have there in terms of hard news. I know that I got Mihir Magudia on the line. Mihir, are you there? Do you want to take this and the next slide and take it forward?
Yeah, why not? So I love these double RP incentives because you suddenly see people hitting new ranks. You see sort of a real sense of urgency and momentum about them because they are so short-lived. They are so generous. And when you've got travel incentives and all sorts of other things that you mentioned, Dan, going on at the same time, it really is a really powerful way of moving your business. If you've got people who are kind of sleeping at gold rank, aren't really sure what to do with themselves, get them to platinum rank, get them onto this incentive the next couple of days, and then get them moving. If you've got people who are sort of charging towards qualifying for the next executive trip, which we haven't announced yet, but for the next executive trip in 2020, then this is a splendid way to get them to charge up the ranks they need to get there. So I've always been a big fan of the double RP, and I was very excited by the way people can really move their businesses with it. And of course, this will help you with qualification for the Maldives in 2020. So in 11 days' time, how many of you can get to the Maldives? In 11 days' time, how many of you can qualify for it? How many of you can recruit that new person, turn them into an associate, and get yourself that ticket to paradise? Places are, as always, limited. You've got, a couple of months left to do it, but I'm sure with this incentive and all the other stuff going on in the business, there's plenty things that you can do with it. So I think quite a short meeting today, but it really is about the power of moving quickly. It really is about the power of taking advantage of the incentives available to you and using them to change your business, to inspire your people, and to get them moving like they've never moved before. Now, obviously, this time of year, there's closures all over the place, closures all over the world. In the UK, there seems to have been bank holidays, well, without end, it felt, and there's another one coming up in a week or so. Hong Kong has a national holiday today, Canada next week, and again, there it is, in the UK again in just 2 weeks' time. Ramadan is also ongoing now, so Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim brothers and sisters on the call. So do expect a slightly reduced service from certainly our Dubai office during that time, and a slightly reduced service in our Karachi office as well. So don't dismay if support's a little bit longer, if things are a little bit slower getting back to you in this few weeks' time. We are working on everything. We're charging through the list, but there's a few little seasonal challenges that we'll all overcome.
Very good. Thank you for that, Mihir. Yeah, we're sort of really at the conclusion here. I didn't want to have a big, long, drawn-out call today. I just wanted to give you the good news, really. that the global business is benefiting from a double RP promotion, and you have 11 days. Now, some of your people will be cynical, some of your people will be skeptical, some of your people will say, yeah, well, but the business always turns round on a decision. And one of the things that we have noticed is that some of our members are incredibly resilient and clever, and they kind of wait, and they kind of hold, and they kind of sort of sit there, and then the conditions come together. Well, this is the conditions coming together. The double RP will do that for you. So if ever you wanted to get on with your Leo business, this is the time. And from the kind of record number of people on the call, I think there's a lot of people that want to get on with their Leo business. So all power to you, and show me what you can do. Now, the next meeting will be next Monday, the 20th of May. I'm going to have some very, very big and new things to talk to you about there. And I'm hoping to be able to show you something that is very, very cool. So in the meanwhile, thank you as ever for your hard work. Thank you as ever for your commitment. All I want for my business is for it to be a loyal and straight partner for you. We don't want to do hanky-panky. We don't want to sort of run around. We want to build something that's a legacy that I can be proud of in front of my children, that I can groom my children to take over one day, and then it turns into Anderson and Sons here, and may that be a long time in the future. My game plan at the moment, as I explained to someone else the other day, is kind of a 10-10-10. I'm going to work jolly hard for the next 10 years, and then I'm going to be the president that waves from the stage at a quarterly or a 6-monthly event for the next 10 years, and then I'm going to spend the next 10 years tending my garden and sailing around the world as a very, very little old man. But that's the plan that I have for Leo. That's the plan that I have here. So the sky is not falling. There is no fundamental drama. Just keep on keeping on, and fight on. And I look forward to celebrating your success next week on the 20th of May. Thank you very much indeed.